When people say something's impossible, everything's been done, that just means everything's not been done. They just don't know.
They say if we build it, they will come. It's nice to have the ability to start small and to grow as the demand requires. Now we're able to build in a way that allows us to scale if what we've built is popular.
We are moving into AI-driven era where AI takes care of higher order activities.
Today's tools are allowing people to execute if they have the grit and determination.
People build what they can imagine.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Chris Keller, Managing Director, Central Europe, Amazon Web Services.
Grüezi miteinander. Bonjour à tous. Buongiorno. Allegra. Welcome to beautiful Zurich. And welcome to the AWS Summit 2025. Who's ready for an incredible day ahead? Let me try it again. Okay, let me try it again. So, who's ready for an incredible day ahead? Let's do this. Looking across this room, I see what makes Switzerland truly extraordinary. It's our relentless pursuit of precision, our drive for innovation, and our dedication to technical excellence. It's in our DNA. And our spirit of innovation spans generations. In 1905, whilst working as a patent clerk, Albert Einstein developed his revolutionary special theory of relativity. Or in 1967, Erna Hamburger became Switzerland's first female professor of engineering at EPFL, breaking barriers. And in 1970, Niklaus Wirth shaped the foundations of modern computing with Pascal. And in 2025, we're all here embarking with AI on one of the biggest revolutions in history. AI is reshaping total industries, transforming customer experience, and allowing organizations to unlock insights and grow. I personally find this very exciting to be part of. And for Switzerland, the AI adoption is widespread and accelerating. Today, 46% of the Swiss businesses are using AI, up by a third since last year. This represents a striking 48% year-on-year growth rate, which was one of the highest in Europe, and it's nearly double the European average of 27%. And almost all of those businesses using AI show an increased and report an increased revenue as a result. Now, let's look at how some of the Swiss startups are turbocharging innovation. Itinerary revolutionizes research and development with its end-to-end machine learning platform, powered by Amazon Bedrock. The self-driving labs platform modernizes traditional laboratory processes into modern data-driven workflows to accelerate the discovery and optimization of new molecules and treatments in chemistry, food, and pharma. And the results are remarkable. A leading pharma company in the US has achieved an increase of 18% in product yield whilst realizing a cost reduction of 22% by using the Self-Driving Labs platform. Ethan AI's industrial AI platform equips leading manufacturers with powerful workflows to improve quality, reduce cost, and accelerate speed. AWS IoT Core allows Ethan AI to deliver industrial data at real time. And AWS Guard Duty helps to secure the customer data. And the results are impressive. Ethan AI enhances manufacturing processes by helping customers making critical decisions and increasing productivity up to 50%. And River is revolutionizing the last mile delivery. Their innovative wheel-legged robot combines artificial intelligence with a unique hybrid design. It rolls on wheels for long distances, while seamlessly kind of transitioning to walk upstairs or navigating obstacles. And I'm excited to share, you get to see the River robot here at the AWS Summit. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Milo. Welcome, Milo, here. Okay, so let's see where it goes. It sometimes shakes a bit. Okay, so good. So this is Milo. Excellent. Oh, I get a gift. Yesterday I got a kebab, so let's see what I get today. Here we go. Well, it's a Rivella. So I keep that for Mindy, for the next speaker, so put that here. Thank you, Milo. Yeah, we'll do the shaking later. Thank you, Milo. Enjoy the summit. And these are just a few examples here in Switzerland of how technology impacts how we work and live. And we still need to ensure that our digital infrastructure meets this growing demand. Launched almost 3 years ago, the AWS Zurich region offers now over 165 services, including Amazon Bedrock for generative AI. Customers can consume more than 5,000 software offerings from our AWS marketplace. Security is built in everything we do, whether it's post-quantum cryptography for your most critical data, or our advanced threat intelligence. Both are available to you at no additional cost. And looking ahead, we will offer Oracle Exadata as a fully managed service in the AWS Zurich region starting 2026. You get the power of Exadata combined with the simplicity of an AWS native experience. And we are committed to powering innovation and growth in Switzerland with a planned investment of 5.9 billion Swiss francs through 2036 here in Switzerland. And AWS is deeply integrated into Switzerland's innovation ecosystem. We are collaborating with institutions like ETH, EPFL, Universities of Applied Sciences, and vocational schools. And we include the unique Swiss dual education system in our AWS skills programs to build the workforce of the future. In the last 12 months, more than 2,300 students and apprentices took more than 6,300 courses through our AWS Academy program here in Switzerland. And together, we are ensuring that Switzerland remains a global talent hub for AI, robotics, cybersecurity, and many other fields. And last week, Switzerland marked a milestone in AI innovation with the release of Apertus, a family of open-source large language models developed by ETH and EPFL. I'm excited to announce that AWS is making Apertus available to customers through Amazon SageMaker Jumpstart. You can deploy Apertus and their models in your private AWS environment with just one click. Starting today, Apertus is available in the AWS Zurich region and globally, enabling organizations to experiment, learn and scale with the Swiss AI technology. Now, before I close, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors that make the summit possible today, and I encourage you all to explore the AWS partner world over there and meaningfully connect with our partners. Today, we have all the innovators and pioneers together in this room, and you're all actively creating Switzerland's digital future. Who knows? We may have the next Erna Hamburger and Niklaus Wirth with us. I'm excited to see what we will build together. Now enjoy the summit, and without any further ado, please welcome to the stage our Vice President, Messaging and Streaming, Mindy Ferguson. Here we go.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, Milo, for the Revela Blue. Oh my goodness, what an amazing invention here in Switzerland. I'm blown away by what's happening in robotics on AWS, so it was super cool to see Milo here on stage. Well, welcome everyone to the AWS Zurich Summit 2025. My name is Mindy Ferguson, and I am the Vice President for AWS Messaging and Streaming. Those are services like Kinesis Data Streams, SQS, SNS, and Amazon's managed streaming for Apache Kafka, and so many more. And they power amazing things around us, like the really powerful F1 Insights. Before I joined AWS 3 years ago, I was a customer. And I sat in the audience just like you, and I loved coming to summits because I got to learn so much. And now, working at AWS, I love coming to summits because I get to meet so many of you who are on journeys that are quite similar to ones that I've experienced. From migrations out of data centers and away from mainframes to modernizing entire data journeys across your organization. In my role, I help customers like you get value out of your data by assembling the building blocks that take your bold innovations and make them reality. And when I start a conversation with a customer, I start by asking, what if you could build anything you can imagine? See, to me, one of the best parts about being a builder is being able to imagine things that seem impossible and then building them and making them real. At AWS, we give you the building blocks so that you can build anything. And with those building blocks, wow, you have built some amazing things. You've improved how we heal people and the planet. You've transformed finance and elevated fandoms. And you've even helped the blind to see. These are incredible inventions, but they're all made possible because of AWS building blocks. Now, this idea of building blocks is actually pretty fundamental to how we invent at AWS. We build services that do a job really, really well. And we make it easy for you to combine those services together. But there are some things that are so fundamental, they have to be a part of everything that you do. And that is security. And for us at AWS, security begins at the silicon and goes all the way up the stack, ensuring that no one, not even us, has access to your data while it's in our data center. Now, once you have a secure foundation, what comes next is scale. And scale begins with the AWS global backbone. We have the largest private network with more than 6 million kilometers of fiber optic cabling. And it connects all of our regions, availability zones, and edge locations. And each year, we continue to grow and add capacity. In fact, within the last year, we increased our network backbone capacity by 80%. All right. We've been talking a lot about building blocks. We're going to talk a lot more about building blocks today, too. And I want to jump right into our first one, and that's compute. You can access as much compute as you need on AWS and a wide variety of compute options, like virtual servers, containers, and functions to power all of your workloads. Just take EC2. EC2 has more than 850 instance types, enabling you to find the ideal compute for all of your workloads, even workloads that were once thought to be impossible to run in the cloud. I'm talking about applications that demand an extraordinary amount of compute power for scientific modeling, video transcoding, and even machine learning. Or mission-critical enterprise applications that support large in-memory databases or complex analytics. Now, with the rise of generative AI, accelerated compute instances that are used for training and inference, they are exploding in popularity. And AWS is by far the best place for your GPU workloads. We have a 14-year partnership with NVIDIA, and we continue to innovate together, adding new NVIDIA-based instances for all of your workloads, such as the new P6 family of instances that feature the NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs, including the GB200 superchips. But we saw that builders still needed more flexibility around how and when they access GPU capacity. So we created EC2 capacity blocks, and it provides instant and predictable access to high-demand GPUs. And they're perfect for shorter-term training and fine-tuning workloads. Now, we all know that innovation is rarely a straight line, and the considerations around how and what you scale continue to evolve. This was the challenge that Canva faced. Let's take a look.
Innovation is always about solving problems and helping people to achieve their goals more quickly than ever before. Our goal at Canva was to always enable people to take their idea and turn it into a design and have no friction between those 2 points. So you can now create a beautiful whiteboard. You can create an incredible presentation, all with a click with the power of AI. Today, we have more than 220 million people using Canva each month, and our goal is to get to 1 billion people each month.
Scaling generative AI products to 1 billion users means that we have to be global. We have to be in all of the available data centers around the world and ensure that the right capacity and the right GPU instance types are available. And that's where AWS really comes to the table, working with us to scale as we need it. We can't empower the world to design if our platform and our tool isn't reliable. Using AWS ensures that we've got all of the right baseline capabilities available that are secure, reliable, available when we need it, and that just increases trust with our customers.
Being able to rapidly ship product to the whole world and deploy it is an extraordinarily important part of our success. So it's been amazing to partner with AWS on that incredible journey.
We're just 1% of the way there. Canva is just getting started, and we cannot wait for you to see what we have coming up next.
It's customers like Canva that drive to enormous scale, and they push us to make compute faster, more sustainable, and at a lower cost. And those are the inventions that allow you to build anything. One place where we've done this is with Graviton. Graviton was our first custom CPU. Now in its 4th generation, this is the most powerful Graviton yet. It's up to 45% faster than Graviton 3, and with 60% less energy consumption and the same price performance as comparable instances. The amazing performance and sustainability of Graviton is why we've landed more Graviton-based CPUs into our data centers than any other CPU type. Creating Graviton gave us momentum to tackle even bigger challenges, like purpose-built AI chips, creating Inferentia and Trainium. Each chip designed with the same principles of exceptional performance at a significantly lower cost. Today, Trainium 2-based instances offer the best price performance for generative AI and deep learning on AWS. They're up to 4 times faster and up to 3 times more energy efficient than Trainium 1 instances. And that is a breakthrough that is already transforming the economics of AI. Now, some of the world's largest foundation model providers will be using Trainium 2 instances to lower their training cost, like Anthropic. Millions of people per day, I know I'm one of them, use Claude for their work. And together, AWS and Anthropic are advancing the future of AI. Now, for builders like you and I who use Claude, it means more intelligence, faster speeds, and lower cost. Bringing big ideas like this to life, though, well, it requires using multiple building blocks. And that takes us to our second building block today, which is storage. In the early days of Amazon, when teams needed storage, they built it themselves. And with every new project, we spent months, sometimes even years, building, configuring, and maintaining undifferentiated storage solutions. What we needed was a place where you could store anything and where you could use that data everywhere. But we also realized our customers needed it too. And that was how S3 was born. Today, S3 holds more than 400 trillion objects of data, and you can use that data across AWS. And here's the really cool part. In the 19 years since S3 has been in existence, it has continued to evolve and follow exactly how you want to use your data. And a great example of that is with the rapid adoption of Apache Iceberg. Apache Iceberg is an open-source, high-performance table format that's used in large analytical data sets and in formats like Parquet. And in S3, there are exabytes of Parquet data. Now, under the hood, Iceberg uses a hierarchy of metadata and manifests to manage data snapshots and table updates. But the challenge with Iceberg is that it requires manual maintenance to run optimally, and the overhead only increases as you scale. We saw an opportunity to remove this heavy lifting, and we created a brand new bucket type called S3 Tables. So now you can quickly manage and query data in Iceberg format without the manual overhead. But we didn't stop there. We also created S3 metadata, and that automatically generates system metadata, such as object size, storage class, and encryption status. And now, you could also add your own custom tags, and that makes finding the right data simple and easy. See, metadata is what makes it easier to create data products that you can use across your business. And we know that most users don't need access to raw data. Instead, they get their answers through curated data products that are built for specific use cases. And these data products, they rely on our next building block, and that's databases. All right, we have databases for every kind of data and use case that you can even imagine. And while we know that these are incredibly powerful, we also know that as you diversify where and how your data products exist, there can be some challenges. Data can become siloed, and if those silos are distributed, you can have issues with continuity in how database transactions are recorded. It all comes down to time. To reduce the number of conflicts across distributed databases, you need the precise time that a database transaction occurred. And that means that you need clocks that are perfectly synced no matter where in the world you are. Now, because we control all of the infrastructure that AWS runs on, we did exactly that. We set an atomic clock with microsecond precision through the introduction of the Amazon TimeSync service. But when it came down to databases, this unlocked something so much more. Multi-region, strong consistency with low latency across databases, whether you're using SQL or NoSQL. And they provide virtually unlimited scale with zero infrastructure management and a fully serverless design. It means that you can add multi-region active-active capability to your databases in a way that's not only effortless to build, but to operate. And as always, you're in control of where your data resides. This is all so important because as you use multiple building blocks to build anything that you could imagine, you'll want to bring them all together in a simple and easy way, like Sportradar has done. To share the story, please help me welcome the EVP of Technology and AI for Sportradar, Niccolo De Ercole.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Niccolo, and I work as a EVP of Technology and AI at Sportradar. I'm so happy to be here today. Next. So, Sportradar, we drive any data and any computation over that data that you can think of about any sport. We are sit right there at the intersection of sport and technology. We are the driving force behind all of the fun experiences and modern technologies that you see applied in sport. From real-time insights and AI-powered analytics to immersive fun experiences, we are really setting new industry standards and connecting to fans like never before. What do we do is we provide data and services and experiences to leagues, federations, media customers, bookmakers. We cover more than 1 million events, sport events every year across 85 sports, more than that. Some of those I didn't even know before joining. We have more than 800 sport books as customers, like Betfair, bwin, Bet365, and we have more than 900 media and broadcast clients like Fox, NBC, and many more. AWS is our exclusive cloud provider. We share focus on performance, security, and continuous innovation. AWS allows us to grow rapidly, expand services, and innovate with confidence. Sport really needs a scalable infrastructure. It's a peaky moment type of situation. There are moments where everyone in the world is looking at sports. And so at peak moments, we really need to handle a lot of transactions, and we're handling up to 2,500 betting transactions per second. Well, it's not just scalability. It's also about cost and performance efficiency. Our OTT streaming platform, we were able to do cost reduction on that for about 30% using Fargate, CloudFormation, and Amazon S3. Also, disaster recovery. We are able to fully clone our infrastructure to another Amazon account in less than 2 hours. This made us really feel safe against any kind of hacking attack and things like that. Code pipeline and set functions are what we use for it. Finally, while it's not just about infrastructure, it's also our speed, how we develop. We use virtual machines to spin up prod-like environments for our dev, for our QA, so that people can move faster. All of our engineers can move faster and with more confidence. Finally, AI. We get huge, incredible scalability with Amazon Bedrock. As we said, we run more than 350,000 events exclusively with computer vision. We analyze what's going on and derive data from it exclusively using the video feed and our computer vision machine learning algorithms. And at peak times, we're handling more than 6 million odds recomputation per second. Per second, 6 million odds recomputation, which are AI model driven. Well, talking about AI, I also wanted to mention some of the new experiences that we're building using GenAI. The first one is the Sportradar Brain, which is our GenAI engine that is able to access and reason about all of our data in depth. We're talking about live data, historical data, fun data, audio-video data, betting data, all of it. We're able to pull it together and to reason about it. It's really massive, the amount of data that we handle. And we use this brain to build multiple different experiences. Just a few examples. One is Bet Concierge. We have this AI-powered match assistant for instant answers and smart betting suggestions. You can see, like, you can ask questions, it will give you some information, and then you can decide what to bet on. You can save things, essentially making this fun little experience of betting to casual bettors like a little bit more convenient and fun to use. Second one, we build really impressive chatbots for our broadcast services. We're talking about bots that can answer so complex questions that you really cannot get on any, commercial user available LLMs or chatbots outside in the world. Like when you ask questions like this one that we're seeing here, we go back and look at data from almost 2 centuries, the beginning of last century, in order to give you a super accurate, precise answer. And while you can try it anywhere, you won't get something like this. This is just because it uses all of our proprietary data. Finally, we're also doing Content Studio, which is our content generation tool. We are able to generate articles about pre-match, post-match, halftime reports in all kinds of formats. Is it articles, just text, is with widget, we're talking about audio with podcasts, and we're talking about videos. We're able to generate all of this for our media customers. And we use also our content generation capabilities for Sports Moment, which is our sport marketing platform. Well, with Sport Moments, we capture these peak events, this moment of mass excitement in a city or something, when there is a goal, a particular milestone, a particular new record, and make those moments instantly addressable for brands. So it means advertisers, if there's any brand like here that wants to advertise, they can deliver the right message at the right time in the exact moment fans are most engaged across all channels. Separately, I also wanted to talk about Foresight Streaming, which is a different kind of AI. It's not generative AI. It's our technology to overlay 3D data on top of video streams. Well, what do we do here? It's like you can see we basically have in-venue skeletal data, in this case from NBA games. We get 29 data points per player per second for every player at every game. And we're merging those with broadcast streams at 60 FPS, adding these cloud models that we run AI on it. You're looking like how the camera is looking at the field, where the ball is, who's attacking, etc., and computing things like shot probabilities. The result, we fuse it all together. We need to recompute every 16 milliseconds to get to 60 FPS, and that's what you get, essentially. You get labels, you get percentages, probabilities of shots, you get shot tracking, and what you see is like, all of this advanced visualization. It does recaps for you. This is just like services that we provide, very advanced, using skeletal data. You will be able to enjoy this when the new NBA season starts. Yes, well, that was it. As the lead of technology and AI at Sportradar, I have to say that sports is still the stage of human achievements and human emotions. That's what it is. At Sportradar, we aim to make you live those emotions in a stronger and more engaging way as we reimagine its future. All of this while running on top of AWS. Thank you very much. We're happy to be here. Back to Mindy. Good.
Well done. Well done. Thank you so much, Niccolo. Over the last few years, we have seen generative AI evolve from simple image and text generation to multimodal models that can think and reason. And so just like storage and compute, inference has become a critical building block for all of your applications. And that's why we built Amazon Bedrock as the easiest way to build and scale generative AI applications on AWS. And it's why we continue to expand Bedrock availability all around the world. But what does it take to build a generative AI application that works well today and into the future? It starts with model choice. See, the world of foundation models evolves very, very quickly, with more capable, cost-effective, and faster models being released each week. And we know that there is no one model that works for every use case. So this is why within Bedrock we offer a broad choice of foundation models from across a leading set of providers. It's all to help you access the best model for the job. That includes our own Amazon Nova, our own family of foundation models that are specifically designed to offer leading options across speed, quality, and cost. Today, there are 8 different Nova models, and they span understanding and reasoning, speech-to-speech synthesis, image-to-video generation, and browser interactions. And we also recently announced the ability to customize those models on SageMaker AI. So now you can customize Nova Micro, Nova Lite, and Nova Pro using various recipes that match your specific needs. And it's a choice that enables you to find the right model for the job. Next, you need the ability to be able to customize the model. Now, when I first came out on stage, I told you that I help customers get value out of their data. And I can tell you, incorporating your own data is one of the most important ways to get value out of AI. And one of the most common ways to do this is through retrieval augmented generation, better known as RAG. But a challenge that many developers have encountered when building generative AI applications is that RAG was originally optimized for unstructured data. Today, Bedrock supports fully managed end-to-end RAG across data types, delivering more relevant, accurate, and explainable responses for your users. Next, trust and security continue to be paramount for your generative AI applications. And Bedrock Guardrails helps you block harmful or unwanted inputs and outputs from your generative AI applications. All right, here's an example. Let's say we want to build an application to process insurance claims. We can use guardrails to help block certain inputs and outputs, like harmful topics or words. And we can align the outputs of our message back to our brand and the values of our organization. But now, guardrails can do something so much more. See, one of the biggest things that's been hindering generative AI adoption in the enterprise is hallucinations. And at AWS, we have found that automated reasoning can be used to drive down the uncertainty of generated AI responses. Amazon Bedrock Guardrails, automated reasoning checks. It is the first and the only safeguard that helps prevent against factual errors due to hallucinations. All right, next is affordability. We know today that inference costs can still be too high. So that's why within Bedrock, we want to give you a few ways that you can reduce cost without compromising on performance. The first is through model distillation. See, model distillation is when the outputs of a high parameter model are used to train a low parameter model. You can think of it kind of like a teacher sharing knowledge with a student. Distilled models in Bedrock are up to 500% faster and up to 75% less expensive than larger models. But Bedrock also offers intelligent prompt routing, and this is where you can designate multiple models for your application, and Bedrock will serve the one that is best suited for your requests. prompt routing can reduce your cost by up to 30% without compromising on accuracy. And finally, utility. AI should make things as simple as possible. And this is where the agents come in. AI agents are autonomous software systems that leverage AI to plan, to think, to reason, and to act. And they complete tasks on behalf of humans or other software systems. But getting agents into production, it's still too hard. You need to be able to securely execute and scale your agent code. And you need to be able to store past interactions so that they can improve over time. See, agents are only as valuable as the actions that they can take. And it requires them to have appropriate identity controls and the ability to discover, to access, and to connect to agentic tools and resources. And all of us, we need the ability to be able to understand and to audit the actions that agents are taking. This is why we created Amazon Bedrock Agent Core. It's a set of services to deploy and operate highly capable agents accurately, at scale, using any model and any framework. See, Agent Core is a step function change for moving your agents from proofs of concept into production with the reliability, the scale, and the security that's needed for critical real-world deployments. Agent Core provides tools and capabilities to make agents more effective and capable. It provides purpose-built infrastructure to securely scale agents and the controls to operate trustworthy agents. Now, Agent Core services can be used together or independently. And what it means is it gives developers just like you the ability and the flexibility that you need. All right, I'm going to show you how this works. This is a super cool demo. In this demo, we're going to build an agentic loan processor, one that accelerates risk analysis based on credit or other data before passing it on to a human to finalize. We're going to begin by adding some memory. We're going to give the memory group a name, a description, and we're going to decide how long we want those memories to be stored. We're also going to add a memory strategy. The memory strategy is going to help the model to sort between short-term memories and put them into long-term useful memory categories. Now, with this configured, our agent can now remember our past interactions, and it can provide a personalized experience. Next, we want our agent to be able to utilize tools across our organization. So we're going to add an Agent Core gateway. Here's where we're going to set a role for the agent, and we're going to attach our authorization model. That can be the Agent Core identity or any other externally managed identity provider. Now we're ready to add targets to the gateway. Targets are specific resources that we want the agent to be able to use. We're going to set a target for Lambda so that we can pull for any payment data that we might have in DynamoDB. We're also going to set a target for S3 because we might have some loan documents on file that we want to use. And we'll set a gateway target so that we can use an external API and do a real-time income verification. Next, we want the agent to be able to handle any calculations that a human underwriter might be needing. So we're going to add in the Agent Core Code Interpreter. Now the underwriter agent is going to be able to perform analysis, like adjusting the weighting of the borrower's debt-to-income ratio. And the agent can quickly execute and create the code that's needed to do that calculation. All right, we're ready to deploy. We're going to use Agent Core Runtime. That's a secure and serverless environment that can handle both real-time and long-running workloads. And it automatically scales to meet demand. We're going to create a runtime instance. We'll specify the entry point and runtime will handle all of the infrastructure, the scaling, and the security. And finally, we're going to add an agent core observability. This is to monitor how our agent is performing and to get insights across the health and usage. These dashboards allow us to debug problems in the agent's process. A great example would be if our loan processor was taking too long to calculate those risks. That's it. We have a fully production-ready agent. It's deployed, it's secured, it's metered, and it's scaled, and it's ready to help transform our business. And it's all with the freedom to innovate across models, across frameworks, and most importantly, using data from anywhere. To share another example of how Syngenta is using AI on AWS to transform their business, please welcome the head of digital marketing of Syngenta, Marco Eisenman. Get it? Yeah.
Thank you. What if I told you that by the end of this speech, we will have lost enough fertile soil to fill 100 fields of football fields? Forever. And yet, in those same 8 minutes, AI will have helped thousands of farmers around the globe take thousands of decisions that could revert that trend. The world's population will be just under 10 billion people by 2050. We need more food than ever before. But a third of the world's soil is already degraded. And the changes in climate is bringing new pests, new diseases, and new extreme weather events. This all impacts our harvests. The stakes are high, and our collective future depends on us meeting this challenge. Our systems of food production must not only use the soil, the fields, and the resources of our planet. They must help regenerate and improve them. Simply put, the only possibility we have is to innovate. This is what Syngenta exists to do. We're investing annually $2 billion into research and development for new products and solutions. Our team works across more than 90 markets, and we're digitally connecting 100 million hectares of farmland. To give you a perspective, this is about 25 times the area of Switzerland. We're the #1 company globally in crop protection and biologicals, and #3 for seeds. We build technologies that allow farmers to protect their crops, maximize their productivity, and ensure food security for all of us. Our work exists at the intersection of sustainability, technology, and cutting-edge science, all in the service of the farmer. Because to grow the future today and in the future, all three must coexist. The last half-century sparked the third agricultural revolution: science-driven, yield-boosting, and life-saving. It followed the first seed sown 12,000 years ago and the rise of mechanized tools like the plow and seed drill. The breakthrough of the 20th century in chemistry and crop science fed 1 billion people. As we navigate the fourth agricultural revolution, we must look beyond yesterday's playbook to solve today's challenges. The force that will drive this is AI, a catalyst for system-wide transformation. And through the collaboration with AWS, we have seen the next frontier of innovation, not just in Silicon Valley. It is in every field, on every farm, across the entire planet. But to unlock the full potential of AI, we must embed it historically, holistically. That's where we're already integrating data and intelligence across our entire value chain. Gen AI already helps our scientists to create new crop-protecting molecules from the scratch. Our demand planning and supply chain is already powered with AI insights. And thanks to our grower-facing tools and support, we're already able to bring that technology in the hands of the farmers on the field. We're not just helping farmers become more efficient. It's about unlocking an entirely new ecosystem for agriculture. This transformation represents a tremendous market opportunity, but more importantly, a chance to radically improve farming output at scale. We're creating the world's leading agricultural technology platform that works to solve some of the biggest challenges facing the planet. And we can't do it alone. We need a partner who can drive innovation at scale and can match the ambition of what we want to achieve. And with the help of AWS, we're taking the largest interconnected agricultural data set spanning crops, soils, climates, and farmer knowledge, and turning it into real-time decisions for millions of farmers. This is CropWise AI, an expert digital agronomist in your pocket. It gives hyperlocal, actionable, and science-based insights and advice to farmers in their own language. Our CropWise platform is already in the field, used in more than 30 countries, helping farmers to optimize decisions from which seed to select, how do I best protect my crops throughout the season, and when to harvest. We can now leverage our data sets covering everything from satellite imagery, weather data, to disease patterns. We have years' worth of data stored and analyzed in infrastructure built on AWS, allowing us to understand agronomic problems like never before. Thanks to this collaboration, we've created a system that's not just smart, it is resilient, and it is scalable. I want you to think for a moment about this very scale. When we're talking about farmers around the globe, how many farmers do you think there actually are? New technologies are already making a difference to the day-to-day challenges farmers face. We have seen massive adoption worldwide, with around 100 million large farms implementing more and more new digital tools, helping them to manage their operations, get agronomic advice, gather imaging, and improve their profitability. However, the majority of the world's farmers, 5 times more, are smallholders, working 2 hectares or less. Many of them don't have access to agronomic advice or any kind of data. Now, they can carry this expertise around with them. New technology is only useful if it works for the user. No matter how smart technology is, if it breaks a farmer's workflow, or it means that they have to juggle an extra amount on their time, it won't just work for them. Or technology might just simply be out of reach, too inconvenient, too hard to master, or too expensive. Too often we have seen the benefits of new technology go only to the most privileged, leaving behind many of those who would see the greatest benefits of those new innovations. In my recent field visits in rural India, Vietnam, and Mexico, the one consistent message I heard was the need for access to information, data insights, and technology. And with CropWise AI, we're putting AI into the hands of these farmers in their language and on their terms. As with every wave of innovation, we must also ensure it is inclusive. That's why we're working to close the AI divide, so that the world's smallholders and emerging markets aren't left behind, but powered like never before. In partnership with AWS, we're helping rewire the future of foods, building a more productive, resilient, and equitable system for generations of farmers to come. Think of it as a jigsaw puzzle. We've made massive strides in genetics, chemistry, and machinery. But the final piece is digital. And the power of AI is what brings it all together into frame. And in combining the best of agriculture with the best of technology, we will see planetary scale transformation. Remember how many football fields we have lost of fertile soil from the beginning of this keynote speech? 100. Do you understand the urgency of our moment? But you also feel the possibility. Because by building strong and powerful partnerships like the one between Syngenta and AWS, we're not just solving problems. We're actually rewriting what is possible. Thank you.
You crushed it. Thank you so much, Marco. You know, like I said earlier, we make building blocks that do one thing really, really well. Now, how often do you need to do just one thing? Rarely. We want to make it really easy for you to do everything well. And just like we showed you with Amazon Bedrock Agent Core, we've started creating streamlined and unified experiences where all of the building blocks come together and you can do your work quickly and easily. And that was the goal when we launched Amazon SageMaker. Amazon SageMaker Unified Studio combines our best analytics services with our widely adopted SageMaker service. So now, the work that used to require you to work across multiple tools and interfaces can now be done from a single unified studio. And what makes this version of SageMaker so incredibly powerful is that it's built on a lakehouse architecture, where you get end-to-end data governance built in. And you're able to quickly enable your teams to share data, generative AI assets, and models across projects. However, in order to take advantage of all of the building blocks that we've been talking about today and SageMaker Unified Studio, you need to be in the cloud. Now, I can tell you this firsthand. Migrating to the cloud can unlock huge value. And I also know firsthand that it is not always easy. Modernizing decades-old applications, it can be a slow and costly process. I really wish AI was available when I did it, because wow, this is where AI is so incredibly powerful. At AWS, we have spent the last 19 years helping customers like you overcome migration challenges. And we have seen just about anything and everything that you can imagine. So we've taken everything that we've learned and we've integrated it into AI capabilities that are helping customers make modernization easy. One of the first places that we started was with modernizing Windows.NET applications over to Linux. AWS Transform automatically discovers incompatibilities. It can generate a transformation plan. It can even generate source code on your behalf. And using Transform has helped developers modernize their Windows.NET applications up to 4 times faster and help reduce Windows licensing costs by up to 40%. Next is VMware. Transform agents can simplify and orchestrate the end-to-end migration process. And it tackles one of the hardest parts of any VMware migration project by automatically converting VMware networking configurations and firewall rules into native AWS networking constructs. With Transform, this is 80 times faster. Now, our own AWS professional services has been using AWS Transform in their customer engagements, and they have been reducing weeks of work down to a single hour. Agents can also assist with migrating complex mainframe applications. You know, mainframe projects, they used to take years to complete, and now they can be done in months. And since its GA launch in mid-May, AWS Transform has helped customers and partners analyze more than 128 million lines of code. As you see, with the right building blocks, you can build anything that you can imagine. And that's exactly why we're all here today. See, at the heart of it all, we're not just creating technology. We're empowering the world through what we build. As you continue your journey through the summit today, here's my ask. I want you to connect. I want you to explore and discover all of the services, the tools, and the incredible brilliant minds that you'll find. Because all of this can take your bold innovations and make them a reality. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the AWS Zurich Summit.